Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Welcome to Bold. This is just a quick little sip, ding ding, tiny cup to get your writing life going. I love that cup. Today, I was just going to talk with you about something that has been bothering me my entire writing career, and it's this idea of theme, right? It's the idea that you should be writing towards something big and that your books and your work should mean something, right? It should be something more than a story. It should sparkle and shine in bigger ways and tell bigger truths and think about bigger things. And I definitely think this is true. I think that, the best writing, shows us how we can live and how we can be and in ways that we are and reveals things about both ourselves and our society and our family and our friends and who we are and who we want to be. But, but I don't ever start out with that thing. Like I might have an idea that I want to write about this theme, but as I'm going, my focus is really not on that theme. My focus is really, for me in particular, is on the plot and the characters and the action and what they're doing and what they're saying and what's going to happen and why it's happening and why she did this and why he did that. And, when I get towards the end of a book, I'll start to recognize and pull out themes, right? And then maybe in a second draft or a third draft, I'll start editing for that theme and I'll pull out the theme and I'll expand on it and I'll really make it a central core piece of my book. But as I'm going, that's not necessarily, I'm not writing toward a theme. Every once in a while, I'll have an idea of a theme I want to hit and I'll come in trying to hit that theme. And me personally, it's just super hard for me to do that. So I'll try to do it and I'll fail so miserably. And or I'll just get caught up in the story and I'll start writing the story and the theme will slowly build instead of me being really prescriptive right from the beginning and saying like, here's my theme and trying to work my way through my theme. So for me, theme has always been in the background of my work, and then as I revise, it moves to the foreground. It's not something that I'm focusing on as I'm writing. And this whole discussion of theme came up in we had a Willamette Writers Coffee, and this is a writers organization, and we were just having a discussion about the way that we write and the things that we do. And somebody brought up theme and how she really focuses on theme as being like a core piece of how she writes and what she writes. And I thought that was beautiful and lovely and so far beyond how I could write or how I could write a draft. Because for me, those drafts, I'm really down in it, right? And I'm going from characters to action to dialogue back and forth and not in those big level themes yet. And then as I get towards the end, then I start to see those themes like we're talking about. So that thing that I just really wanted to point out to you today is that it's okay if you come into a work not knowing what your theme is. And it's also okay if you come at the end of a work and you're like, I still don't know what a theme is, or if I'm doing something big enough, or if I'm saying enough, or if my story is going to have the type of impact that I want. Because in that case, I would revise and I would fix and I would edit, and then I would take that book and I would hand it to a reader, right? And then I would ask the reader, what did you see as important in here? What mattered to you? And see what they thought some of the themes are, because that's one of the best ways to kind of find out what your theme is if you're kind of building it slowly and subconsciously, asking your readers, so what do you think is the theme here? And then you can really pull that out as you revise, right? So, when I think about theme, I had an idea when I was coming into the book I'm working on right now. It's a adult sci-fi fantasy novel, right? And I had an idea that I'm going to come in and I'm going to write about magic, and I'm going to write about magic and nostalgia, right? Nostalgia. That's a hard word for me to say for some reason, but I was writing about that. That was my goal. And so it was a bigger theme, almost. And I thought I was going to start writing about this woman's relationship with her mother as being kind of the driving force behind the book. But as I got to the end and as I wrote the story, I realized it was more about her relationship with her sister also, like her mother and her sister and her family and her son and her husband. So it was kind of about, it's more about relationships than I thought it was going to be. I thought that was just going to be one little piece of it, but it ended up that story expanded and took on a life of its own, which tends to happen with me because I'm not a really great planner. I'm definitely somebody who writes for the joy of it, and I write down into the story. So when I get to the end, I realize, what I did and also what I could do better and what I need to fix. So as you're thinking through your story and you're thinking about the themes and the big things that you want to say, like, if you come in knowing those, awesome, see what you can do. If you don't know them, that's also okay too. So that's just a little reminder for you today. Have a great day of writing.